RonsRides. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where I'm here at Maserati Alfa Romeo Daytona Beach and I have a color combo for a Stelvio that I have not seen yet. This is actually a Vesuvio gray metallic paint, but with the Nero Edizione package with the black wheels and the red calipers. This is a pretty good looking spec, so I want to show it off for you guys and just show it off to anybody who hasn't really looked at the Stelvios before. I think you guys might be a fan of this and you might actually consider it. So this right here in front of me is the 2019 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sport rear wheel drive. Now I put emphasis on the rear wheel drive because that is an option for the 2019 models. For the 2018s, they only came in all-wheel drive. But for 2019, you can option them out in rear wheel drive. Well, where does that help you? Well, rear wheel drive is going to be a little bit lighter and it's going to be a little bit cheaper, about $2,000 cheaper. So if you have the all-wheel drive model, you're going to get a heavier vehicle and you're going to get something that's going to cost you an extra $2 grand. So if you like the rear wheel, you might not necessarily need the SUV for, winter driving up north or anything like that in those types of weathers. Just like down here in Florida, where it is beautiful out, palm trees everywhere, we don't really get snow or colder weather to where we utilize the all-wheel drive system unless it's in the rain. Now I mentioned that I haven't seen a color combo like this before because the Nero Edizione package, which is the Blackout package for Alfa Romeo, is new for 2019. So I'm starting to see all the color combos together, and with it being on a Stelvio, it looks really nice. It really gives a different feel to an SUV. I mean, looking at it from this angle, it also looks like a Macan, to be honest, looking at it like this, and it has that sporty appeal. It's not just the chrome everywhere to where it's more of a classic SUV or trying to look for luxury in the model. It really looks aggressive, stealthy, and I mean, it looks like something that's super desirable. Let's take a look at this Vesuvio gray. Alfa Romeo has a slew of gray paints, this one being the Vesuvio gray metallic. You have a little lighter version of this called the Stromboli gray, and then you have a Silverstone gray metallic, which is more along the lines of a silver. Now you do have a Lippitti gray as well, which is more of a mix of gray and bronze. So I don't normally keep that in the lineup, but just to let you guys know, it is a gray color from Alfa Romeo. This looks good. Now I do like the darker, stealthier look with the Vesuvio gray metallic, but what really sets it off for me is the Blackout package. Now, the Nero Edizione package is a little bit different on the Stelvio than it is on its cousin, the Giulia sedan. You do have the front grille that is done in a dark meat-on finish, which is not necessarily a gloss black. Now, what is in gloss black are the 20-inch sport wheels. Normally, these are done in an aluminum finish, but with the Nero Edizione black package, you're looking at them in a gloss finish, and you have all-season tires with these. Now, these are Continental tires, but you also have the red caliper with the white script that just give it an even more sportier look, and the monochrome center cap for the Alfa Romeo insignia. Now, also, which is gloss black, which is contrasting to the Nero Edizione package, which has a dark meat-on mirror cap here, is the window moldings and the roof rails. Now those will come in the sport package regardless, but with the Nero Edizione package, you'll get the dark meat-on finish on the mirror caps here. So you can see that they're not exactly quite matching, but some people don't even notice there. Now, if you come across the rear here, you'll see that that dark meat-on finish will also be on the Stelvio badge there. All right, so give that a nice little stealthy look against the gray. And then you have the nice exhaust tips done in the gloss black, which looks really good here. I think it gives it a little bit more style, a little bit more flavor. Now what's different about the Nero Edizione package compared to the Giulia is right here, the rear diffuser or valance, which Alfa Romeo likes to call it, is done in gloss black down here instead of aluminum like normal. Now for Alfa Romeo, for the Giulias, you do not have the diffuser done in gloss black, but for here on the Stelvio, you do. The reviewers seem to love the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Edmunds gave it a 7.3 out of 10. Car and Driver gave it a 4 out of 5. And Motor Trend magazine gave it a 4 out of 5. Now the Stelvio isn't a slouch either. Underneath this strut bar is Alfa Romeo's inline 4-cylinder 2-liter engine that puts out 280 horsepower and 306 foot-pounds of torque at this rear-wheel drive model. Now with this, you're looking at a ZF automatic 8-speed transmission. Now the Stelvio itself isn't the slimmest in the bunch, 4,044 pounds. You do have 111 inches for the wheelbase, With the mirrors, you have a width of 74.9 inches, and with the overall height, you're looking at 66 inches. Let's talk about the fuel consumption for your Alfa Romeo Stelvio. With it being an inline 4-cylinder, you're gonna get pretty good gas mileage. First, let's talk about the little dimple here, because a lot of people think that that's a dent. This is just showing you where to push to release the fuel cap door. So just to kind of let you guys know, I've had, you know, potential clients when I worked here wonder if that was a dent or whatnot, and they were just going over it. I'm like, no, that's actually where you press to release the door, because that is where the latch is there. All right, but back to the fuel consumption. 25 combined city and highway, 22 in the city, and 29 on the highway. So that is your miles per gallon for this car. Now, it does recommend premium high octane fuel. So this is unleaded fuel, but premium high octane recommended. So you are putting premium in this car, which, yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but with it being an inline 4-cylinder, you're not gonna burn through it as quick as you think. Let's give her a start. And with the Stelvio being an inline 4-cylinder, it's not going to be the loudest thing on the market. But let's give her a little gas so you can just see where she stands as far as her exhaust note goes. Inside of the 2019 Stelvio Sport, for this specific spec, you're getting a black on black, Nero on Nero. Now you do also have some aluminum trim pieces since it is a sport. So the aluminum will go through the center console, it'll go throughout all 4 doors, it'll go through the dash and over the glove box. So we'll take a look at that. You also get the aluminum paddle shifters and the aluminum pedals. Now if I didn't tell you guys this was an SUV, would you have noticed? This does not seem like an SUV interior inside. As a matter of fact, it looks exactly the same as all Giulia models, which is the best part about this, because of the fact that obviously you can see back there that it's a little bit bigger than a sedan. You can't really tell from the front cockpit that this is an SUV, besides the fact of you being a little higher off of the ground. But for the most part, everything is laid out the exact same. The steering wheel is the same, the door paneling is the same, even the center console is the same. Only thing you'll see that will put it completely apart from these Giulia is the hill descent control. That only comes on the Stelvios. Other than that, this is pretty much the same. So starting with the center console, obviously Alfa Romeo's setup is super clean, super simple when it comes to the menu. Now this one is actually upgraded with the 8.8-inch radio with the Sirius XM package, and it also comes with the FM Bluetooth radio. And that Sirius XM package is a 1-year subscription to Sirius XM. Now what you don't see on this is navigation. So this specific model is missing navigation, but that's okay, because of the fact that you can do Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for connectivity, and you can use the maps on there, which are a lot better. If you were to use Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, all those things will do a lot better than Alfa Romeo's system. I can tell you that off the top of my head. Now you do have everything else pretty laid out smoothly. That aluminum that I was telling you about goes through the center of the dash here and over the glove box. Then you have the black plastic going over the top. You can get extended leather packages, so this will be done in leather with contrasted stitching, same as the upper door panelings. Those will be done in leather as contrasted stitching, but this one's done here in the plastic feel there, so you'll see that throughout the vehicle. Now you also have your glove box here, pretty good sized glove box. You can see right down in there, it does have a lock as well with it too. Lock is right there. All right, and you do have your HVAC vents with your hazards there. Underneath, you do have your HVAC controls. Right here in the center is where you would control your fan speed. Then you have your AC there too, if you want to turn it on or off. Do it just like that. You also have the sync controls, so you can do auto sync for your climate controls. Make sure that one side is the same as the other, or they can have their independent climate controls as well. This is your direction of your fan speed here, and then your defrost there. Now you also have a 12-volt here with a USB plug-in there. Have my water here because it is hot in Florida, but if I was not using the cup holders, push this in, and you see that aluminum trim door come nicely over the top. We're gonna push that back, put the water back here, and then we're gonna look at the center console. Now the center console here is a pretty simple layout too, and it's the same as most Giulias, besides the fact that with the Giulias you do can get the option of the adaptive suspension for the dampers, so you'd have that button there. But other than that, it's the same exact thing. Your driving modes here, dynamic, natural, and advanced efficiency. menu and option buttons for your infotainment toggle here that will control your infotainment system, everything as far as your menu here, because it is not a touch screen, so it is all controlled through here. Also, you do have your independent radio controls. Turn up,
Reese's Lovers Rejoice.
Turn down, move to the left to change the station, move to the right to change the station, and you can press it in to pause the radio or hold it down to turn it off. The gear select is the ZF 8-speed transmission, the same as you've seen it before, but just as a refresher, this is a 2-track gear select system. So right now you're in park. If you want to go to drive, put your foot on the brake, press the trigger here and pull back for drive. You want to move that light up to neutral, just push it up to neutral, and if you want to go to reverse, press that trigger again up front and push it up to reverse. Now all this is done with your foot on the brake for safety. If you want to go back to neutral, you just pull it back. But if you want to go back to drive, you can pull it back as well, but you can't go all the way up to reverse that way. You have to press the trigger to go up to reverse, and you have to press the trigger to go all the way down to drive, all right? If you want to go into manual mode, push it over to the side, and you have your manual mode. You can also just start shifting on the paddle shifters here on the steering wheel. Now putting it back into park from manual mode, just press the P, and it moves right over, and you're back in park. Now right in front of the center armrest is your electric parking brake. You do also have a little cubby here where you can pull under and open up your armrest, where you will expose your 2 USB cables and your aux cable right here in the middle. All right, you do have a nice little tray down here for extra storage space as well. It's a pretty deep armrest down there, so you can put a lot of things down here and still have a little bit more room. Going back to the door paneling, pretty simple. You do have your 3 presets for your seats. So you have memory seats for 1, 2, and 3 people there. You have your lock and unlock button, your aluminum trim going around your aluminum door handle. So you get the sporty aluminum trim with the sport here. All right, and then down below, you do have your window controls. All right, so you do have the lock down there for the window, and then your rear windows, your front windows, and then you have your side mirror controls. Over here to the L for the left mirror, over here to the R for the right mirror, and pull back to fold the mirrors in. Right here you also have your trunk release sitting there just in case. Underneath, those nice aluminum pedals, they're very aggressive, very sharp. I like how the ends come to a point. It's not just one full pedal, but it actually has some shape and some style to it. But leave it up to the Italians to do something like that, make it look a lot more aggressive, and just give it that flavor. On the left-hand side of your steering wheel, you have your controls here. You can turn your parking sensors on and off here. That would be really helpful during a car wash. If you were to go through a car wash with one of these cars, it would go absolutely bonkers if you have the parking sensors on. Your start-stop button there to turn off your start-stop mode. Believe it or not, when it's illuminated, that means it's off. So it's a little backwards. So when the light is off, the feature's off. When the light is on, the feature's on. All right, you do also have your dimmer here, and then you have your lighting system here for your headlights. Right now it's on automatic, as you can see the A right up there, and then you do have your rear fogs right there as well. Now the steering wheel is such a sporty steering wheel for an SUV, and the fact that the price range, you don't really get something like this in the competitors. Now it's a nice flat bottom steering wheel covered in leather, which looks phenomenal, and then you have the aluminum trim and accents to really, you know, just kind of ramp it up a little bit with the large Italian paddle shifters that are column mounted, so they're not moving with the steering wheel. Those things are staying in place. But the best part about it is when you're turning, you can easily reach them just in case you're coming out of a corner and want to shift. You can always do that with how big these Italian paddle shifters are. Very focused on the driver with this steering wheel. Now you do have your start stop button here, right here on the left hand side. You have your cruise control here all throughout, and your hill descent. Then on the right hand side, you have your hands free, and you have your calling there. You also have, for your radio, the volume control here. All right, and you have the station changes here for left and right to toggle through your radio stations. Now on the left hand side of the steering wheel, you'll have your high beam lights, and you'll also have your turn signals. And on the right hand side here, you'll also have your windshield wiper fluid and your auto sensing windshield wipers. Now I don't think anybody talks about it enough, but Alfa does not get enough credit for these turbine style jet engine like HVAC vents that you get on the side of both doors right up front here. I just think they really look really nice. It's a really cool design, and it's a design that they've had since they've been back in the States since 2017. Pretty simple instrument cluster, but we'll take a look at it just for anybody who has not seen it before. You do have the nice white gauges with the black faces, and you have the nice LCD screen right in the center. On your right hand side, you'll see the fuel gauge there. You'll see your kilometers and miles per hour there. On the left hand side, you will see your RPMs, and you see your temperature on that side. Now, right up front, you got a few things. Top left, you see that the auto lights are on, and you'll see what gear we're in, which is park. You also see right under it the time that it currently is, and you'll see the radio station right under that. On the right-hand side, you'll get your compass and your temperature. So you'll see that we are facing south, and you will see what the temperature is there, which is 98 degrees. Like I said, guys, it's hot here in Florida. Right underneath, you'll also see what driving mode we're in by that blue light. Now, the glare is kind of messing it up for you, but you can see the little blue line down there. That lets you know that we're in natural mode. If I were to switch it in advanced efficiency, it's gonna turn to green. And then if I were to switch it into dynamic mode, which is the most aggressive mode, it will change to red. Now, this button here will allow me to change a few things on that LCD screen. So if I press it in, you'll see it change to your trip. Average trip right there, so your trip A, and you can do a trip B. Now this one doesn't have it set up for a trip B, but you can change that in your settings. If I were to press it again, you get your G-force meter, which is just really cool, again, to have in an SUV that you feel like you're not supposed to be driving enough to have a G-force meter, but it's just a cool little thing to display. We've gone over this infotainment system before. Very sleek, very clean, very simple. What I do want to show you is what the backup camera could look like, which I do think Alfa should really adjust and probably come up with some kind of software update that makes it a little bit better. Because the quality isn't really there, it's a very small camera, and then you have your vehicle here that shows you the sensors depending on where you're going. You know, if you're going to be crashing into something up front, it's going to display the sensors. Same with the rear. Then it does show that camera there just to kind of give you a view, but I feel like it could be a lot better. But just to give you guys a quick run through, a glimpse of everything here. Settings, all of your settings. Like I said, it's all list-based, so there's no really graphics or anything cool on it. You do have a graphic for the car here. If you go to car and go to your car status, it'll show you, the car up there for your graphic, for your tires, maintenance, oil level, stuff like that. But that's pretty much it as far as graphics goes. You have your efficient drive. This just shows a few things, but nothing too crazy. Then you do have stuff like your user's manual and your compass. Then you can go into phone, normal stuff with your phone. Since we're not connected, you're not seeing anything there. Media, we're not connected to anything, so you won't see anything there. And then your radio, which you'll see here. And right now we're in FM. If you want to change it, you can scroll down and press it in. Now we're changing the station, or the band, shall we say, going to XM radio, same where you can go to AM radio. But like I said, the infotainment system could probably be updated a little bit, but what you see is what you get with this system, which some people are really cool with that. They just need it to work, and as long as it works, it's fine. You have your garage door opener here in the visor. Put on the visor, pretty good size, and you do have a mirror with a light there for you. If you go to the center here, you will have your dome light, your reading lights, and your floodlights. And that's pretty much it for the top. Since this does not have the sunroof, we are not having a sunroof control option, so pretty standard here for the ceiling. Standard seating for Alfa. You can get these in the cannoli seats if you do the Lusso model, which is a luxury model, and you can get them in the sport seats if you do the Sport TI model. This is just the sport model, so this is not option with the sport seats that have bolstering and perforated leather. Now these seats are fine and will treat you well. In long journeys, they do just great. I've taken journeys in these cars when I worked for the dealership to drive to different events, and they still feel good. A lot of people might not like the sports seats just because of the bolstering them. They're really form-fitting. So some people, they can't fit in them as well, so they feel a little too suffocated. Also, with people who are shorter, where the bolstering comes in, their shoulders hit, so they're kind of scrunched up because the bolstering is hitting them in the shoulders. So I've seen with people who are a little shorter not liking these sports seats as well. The Lusso seats are pretty much like these, but with a little bit more comfortability, a lot more styling to them. I feel like they are the most comfortable seats when you look at all of them throughout. These would be probably number 2 in the list. I feel like the sport seats aren't the most comfortable. I will put them down at number 3 in the list. The cannoli Lusso seats, probably number 1. Now you're probably gonna pick up the Stelvio for the back seat space. For the most part, you get a lot of headroom. I have no problem moving my head in and out without bending it down. If you notice, I can even lift it up a little bit before I actually hit the top of the ceiling. The biggest part is your leg room. You might not get as much leg room as you think. Now, this was sitting very comfortably where I was sitting up front, so this probably could go up a little bit, but for the most part, I'm 5'11", and this is where my knees are. Maybe keep smaller adults in the back. I would say that someone 6 foot could probably fit back here, but you know, it might be a little cramped on the leg room. And the biggest thing is with someone who is tall, it's going to be their legs that are the tallest thing or the longest thing on their body, so they might run into the back of this seat. But for headroom, you have ample amount of space for headroom, so you have no issues there. Now the back of the door paneling is as is, pretty simple. You have a lock button here. You also have your aluminum door handles, that aluminum trim that follows throughout the back as well, and your window switch, even a little space for a cup holder there. But you know, the Italians, they have very small espresso cups. They don't have these big American cups like we do here. So that cup holder might not serve you that well unless it's for a water bottle. A very standard back seat. You do have the plastic piece on the backing of the seat and the standard net that go in the back for extra stowage. You do have those turbine vents in the back as well. So you have the little mini versions of them, and they move around pretty good. So what I like about them is you can pretty much direct air anywhere in the back. Even with how low these are, they can go all the way up like this, where I can't even feel it from here. It's probably hitting more the top of here, but it has really a good trajectory of where the HVAC vents are pointing and where the air is going. Underneath that, you do have your 2 USB ports under there too for charging for your backseat passengers, and a little bit of stowage about halfway deep for my fingers. So you could probably put a phone there, charge it, or put maybe some kind of like, you know, media device under there and charge it as well. For the seating, pretty standard seating for the back as well. Same on the back as it is on front. Nothing too crazy, but you can fit 5 adults back here pretty easily if you have their leg on each side of the centerpiece here. Now, if you were to pull this down, cup holders, and that's it. No extra stowage or anything like that. Nothing to pop out up front, nothing to lift up here. Just cup holders for Alfa, and that's pretty much it. But it does have a nice little Alfa Romeo insignia there. Then, there you go. So let's break into the back of this Alfa Romeo Stelvio rear-wheel drive Sport. Now, key fob here. All right, you do have your unlock, lock. You have your trunk release here, and you have your remote start with your panic button. Pretty simple key fob, same as they always been using. Now to open up the trunk here, double tap, hold, and you're up. Now you have 55.6 cubic feet of space, which is a ton of space back here. I mean, you can fit maybe, I don't even know, probably about 6 bags of luggage or 6 suitcases. This is, I mean, just looking at it here, look at how deep this is, guys. Best part about it is all 3 seats fold down. You can fold down just the middle by lifting up here and pushing down, or you can fold down each side by pulling the trigger here or pulling the trigger here and folding down the back seats. It's simple, but you get tons of space back here, which is why you really get the Stelvio. Not necessarily for the back seat space, because it's very minimal. I would say it's pretty close to what you get for the Giulia, but for the cargo space, this is where you get it all. Now, this one is not option with the cargo rails, with the net. You can also get that as well, but if you don't really need it, you're not missing out, I promise. Underneath, well, how do we get that 50-50 weight distribution? We gotta have a couple of things back here, right? Well, one of those things is the battery. So right down here in the center, you have your battery sitting right there. All right, couple of tools. And if I can put this on correctly, there we go. Tire inflate kit right here. So you have it tucked under right here, shows you your instructions for your tire inflate. And then right here on this side, you do have a 12-volt plug in there. You also have a little cubby space, maybe for a couple of bottles, and on this side as well, a couple of bottles maybe to clean the car, a couple of car care bottles. And if you're wondering where the fuse box is, well, twist on this side, and there you go. There's your fuse box for the Stelvio. Now, if you don't feel that you have enough privacy, there is a privacy shade here. You just pull and tuck it in each corner there, just that easily. It falls right into it, and there you go. Just a little bit of extra privacy. You're doing any kind of shopping, probably during the holidays too. You don't want to reveal what you have tucked away in the trunk for all your valuables. So it's just a good way to hide everything when you close the trunk, and you can walk away freely with a peace of mind. Now, you do have an automatic closing lift gate. You can also automatically close it through the key fob and through the button on the door panel on the driver's side door. Now, if you guys want to, I'll actually link to the end of this video the different ways you can program your power lift gate for your Alfa Romeo Stelvio. I did a full video on that, so I'll show you that in a video. Make sure you watch that after this one. But this is the way to close it. This is the way to close and lock it. Right now, we're just gonna close it, get your warning beeps there, and down it goes. So let's go over the sticker, shall we? 2019 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sport rear-wheel drive. You can only get the rear-wheel drive models on the 2019 models. 2018 is when the Stelvio first came out, but only in all-wheel drive. Now you can get sports and rear-wheel drive. So you have the 2019 model year starting with a base price of $40,295. After the complete list of options that we have on this vehicle, you're looking at a total price of $46,790. Now that's with a $1,295 destination charge. Let's go over the options that it has right off the bat so you guys can see what you're getting. The Vesuvio Gray Metallic exterior paint. This is not a standard paint, but it is a beautiful paint with $600 upcharge on it. The Sport package, and this is the Sport rear-wheel drive package, $2,000. Now what do you get with that? Well, you get the gloss black roof rails right off the bat. You get the 19-inch wheels for the 5-hole aluminum. You also get the all-season tires with the colored brake calipers. You get the tire service kit, gloss black window moldings. You also have the aluminum interior trim with the bright aluminum pedals and the Sport leather wrapped steering wheel. You also get those Sport column mounted paddle shifters as well, and a Sport 2 suspension. Now this has the Nero Edizione package on it, which is the Blackout Package. Now that also comes with the Duck Meat-On rear balance panel, the Duck Meat-On grill, the Duck Meat-On badging, the Duck Meat-On exhaust tips, and the Duck Meat-On mirror caps with the 20-inch wheels. Now with those wheels, you also get the monochrome center caps, and these are all-season tires as well. This also has a driver assistance static package, which is the blind spot and crosspath detection, and an auto-dimming exterior mirrors with the front and rear parking sensors. That's $800. And then that option out radio that we spoke about with an 8.8-inch screen over the 6.5-inch with the Sirius XM for a year and the FM Bluetooth radio, that is $950. But with everything together, you're looking at $46,790. You're looking at a basic warranty of 4 years, 50,000 mile bumper to bumper, and powertrain warranty of 4 years, 50,000 miles. Now let's talk about the standard options here. First, we'll tell you leather seats, right? Black interior color. The Vesuvio metallic paint is the upgraded paint that we have on this one, so it shows it on the sticker. It also shows that you're looking at the 2-liter, 280 horsepower inline 4-cylinder engine. Now you also have the 8-speed ZF transmission with this, which comes in all Alfa Romeos besides the Quadrifoglio models. So it's nice that you get the same powertrain in every single model. It's just whatever trim you like, whatever colors you like, you can pick it, but they all drive the same. Now you do have the standard equipment here, which will go all throughout here, just to show you everything, like the remote start, the Alpha DNA mode system, the carbon fiber drive shaft, which a lot of cars at this price range cannot say that they have. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto standard. You also have the driver's seat memory, stuff like the exterior features where you have the run flat tires. You have the high performance bi-xenon headlamps, LED running lamps, and go up here where you have your LED tails, stuff like your privacy glass, aluminum roof rails, and dual bright exhaust tips. Now it says dual bright, but obviously with the Nero Edizione package, they're done in black. With that, what do you guys think? Now this Stelvio Sport is a sharp looking SUV, and with the market heading for the crossovers, this has to stand out on the road, and it really does. It's something different than what you're normally used to seeing. So now you guys have to decide, does it have everything that you want in your crossover SUV? Yes, it's super stylish. It is great on fuel. It is fun to drive. It is also practical, but does it carry maybe the technology, comfort, or convenience features that you would want in a vehicle? You guys have to decide that and decide if it's right for you and your family. I feel like there's something out there for everybody, and someone is gonna fall in love with this Alfa Romeo Stelvio. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Definitely, if you learned anything new today, hit the like button on the video. Definitely helps the video get up in the rankings so more people can see it. Helps support the channel as well. Also, if you want more RonsRides videos, you gotta subscribe, right? Click that notification bell to get more RonsRides videos in your subscription box as well. Also, you can check down below, check the links for my social media if you want to check out the RonsRides pictures, videos, and memes that I'm posting about cars. I definitely like to keep it interesting. Also, if you guys want to help support the channel in other ways, you can do a one-time donation through PayPal, $1, $5, it doesn't matter, or you can do the Patreon subscription as well. But definitely let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below about the 2019 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sport and this specific Nero Edizione spec. I definitely want to know, guys. With that said, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. We will see you guys in the next RonsRides video. You guys be blessed, be easy, and we'll see you then. Drive safe. Peace.